You still down on pot noodles on Zoom meetings?
Oh my God. I was just talking about this today. It was like, who have you been talking to? It's a running joke. So we've been doing Zoom, obviously, for uni. And I'd like put my mic on, said something, turned it off, didn't know it was still on, eating a pot noodle, drank the end of it. And then my mate texted me, she was like, you're enjoying that pot noodle, babe? And I was like I died. But then every day since, me lecturer has made like a joke about it.
Stop it, at the start.
Yeah, every time he's like, all right, we're going on a break, get your pot noodle, Helen. Like, always making a joke. But then we had our last lecture, we had like presentation. So when it come to my like share screen, I'd just put like pot noodles all over my desktop. He was like, all right, you win, we'll drop it. Like,
that's funny that. So what I do, when I have a guest on, I try and open it with just like a random comment that catches people off guard. So I just scroll through social media and see people you tagged with and stuff, and I just send messages to everyone. Yeah, I'm terrible. And like, I was struggling with you though, like no one was getting back to me for ages. Oh yeah, it was doing me head in. I was like, I even found people you had tagged in photos with, I found their email addresses and emailed them and everything. Oh my God. I've been getting restraining orders and everything, but
I'm fuming though because no one's told me.
And what happened then when you got run over on your birthday and waking up to the cast of Wizard of Oz around you? What happened there?
Jesus. So I lived in Cambridge at the time, and obviously everyone cycles everywhere. So I was going home for my birthday, and then I just got hit, and like I flew down the road, like my shoes came off and everything, proper Dorothy vibes. But then I woke up and like the whole cast were there, and I, like honestly I thought like I'd just knocked myself, I like gone to the actual World of Oz. But no, it was so the school I work for, it was their last day as well, because my birthday is in July. It was his last day, and they'd done like the play and that, so it was all the kids that I work with, and they like carried me back to my house. But yeah, I was in a bad way. I was gutted. Spent my birthday, I still got drunk. But yeah, on painkillers as well. So.
Well, the friend that got that off, she was like, is that too bad to use because she's been run over? And I was like, fucking, if she doesn't like it, I'll take it out. But
who was it?
I'll let you know afterwards. I can't remember the name, it's on my phone. So how's your day been, Helen? All right?
I thought there was going to be another one.
That's it.
Yeah, it's been good. I've just been in the shop all day.
Have you been busy?
Yeah. We've had a few in today. Like I was saying to you before, it's mostly, we tend to get 4 or 5 in throughout the day, through the door, and then most of it's like online stuff. Yeah. And then we do like our one-to-one sessions as well. But today it's just been a few people coming in for like a chat and stuff like that. Sound. Yeah. So
I want to sort of take it back then to your early life and all that. So where did you grow up?
Round like Dovecot ways, and then Walton for a little bit.
Okay.
But then back, we all my family all live like in the same little few streets.
Yeah.
Proper like hillbillies. So we did venture off to Walton, but we all came back. Literally, like there's my nan, and then a few of my aunties in that one, and then us one over. We
all were in the sort of same area.
Yeah,
that's funny. She's
classic,
like that.
Her
mum lives round the corner, doesn't she? And like we love being so close. My ma's a bit further away, like, but you've got to be close, like, haven't you? It's boss, innit?
Babysitting, innit?
Yeah, it's all it is. It's all it is. Childcare, innit? You're like, oh yeah, I love you. No,
we're in walking distance.
Exactly.
To my mum.
School runs and everything. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, the school's between me and my mum, so I'm just like, you go get out.
So, what school did you go to then?
Crocky Comp.
Did you?
Yeah.
Rough as arseholes, you lad.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. It's gone now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's finished, isn't it? How long ago was it when it got knocked down?
I don't know. I finished in like 2000.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's 21 years ago, isn't it?
Scary, innit?
Yeah.
It is scary. Like,
I think it went not long after, to be honest, but it was always getting like assessed in that way, and it wasn't.
Yeah, there was a few schools like that though, weren't they? They were on the fucking, like, Campion was one of them, weren't it? It was around for years and then they just fucking
it was crap.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why? What was school like then? Did you enjoy it?
I liked it because we had our like good little group of mates, but I weren't good at it. I was terrible at school. I think I came out with like a C in art and RE, and the rest was like E's and it. Like, I was crap at school.
Just fucking went and got your day done, that was it?
Yeah, basically just went around with me.
Mark, the same, my brother, he was fucking terrible at school, and he listens to this, so he'll kick off like, but when he got to his GCSEs, he broke his arm. So fucking he had to get teachers to write all his questions and answers.
Yeah.
And he said like, there was teachers just going, for fuck's sake, lad, they were in math. I think he got to see him. He got F's and everything. He got to see in maths. And every time he'd say an answer, the teacher was like, no. And he was like, have another go. And he said, give him as many chances as he could, and he still got a fucking C. Like, so yeah, school's graft though, innit? It's different. Like,
it's you're not interested in it, are you? Like when you go and do like college or uni, it's something you're interested in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when they sort of ask you now to pick a career path to go down in school, as I say, you're not interested in anything. So you're just like, and then when you do pick something, it's something you've got a passion for, something you've got a love for. So you do invest a bit more time in it.
Yeah. And I feel like there's so much pressure put on you for school. Like, this is going to be where you make your career. Like, you've got to know what, and it's bollocks.
It is. Fucking half the kids these days can't even wipe their ass properly, never mind pick what they want to do for the rest of their life.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You see these kids like stressed at GCSEs and they're like having anxiety attacks and stuff. And it, honest to God, doesn't matter. I did rubbish.
Yeah.
And like, but once you get onto something, and there's different pathways into things as well. You think the only way is to get like your A levels, your GCSEs, but it's not. You can do like foundation degrees, like all different stuff.
And there's apprenticeships and everything now, isn't it? Because people think apprenticeships are just like, you know, a skill like a plumber or electrician. You can get apprenticeships in anything now, can't you?
Yeah, everything.
You can get apprenticeships in school and everything now, can't you? So there's pathways.
There's always different avenues, but they make it seem like this is the only
it's the be or end all, yeah.
Yeah, and then you realise when you get out of it, like, I was stressed for nothing.
For no reason at all.
Well, I weren't stressed, I was really holding book.
You're just waiting for the weekends to get on the hail, weren't you?
No, do you know what? I was dead good in school. I didn't like smoke or drink or nothing. Really? Yeah, I was dead good.
I used to live for the Saturdays in the park.
I was in like the little nerdy group, mate. Well, we were in the middle group. There was like the cool group.
Yeah.
We were using the park. And then there was like the nerds. And then there was us in the middle who kind of just talked to everyone.
Just floating around.
Yeah.
So what was your life as a kid then growing up? You said you were behaved and all that then, so...
Yeah, I was that good.
Was you?
Boring, you might say.
Did you know what you wanted to do early on, or...?
No, I was always in like performing arts and singing and stuff like that.
That's
always...
why you were in Cambridge, was it, or was that because of school? What was that?
No. Uni-wise, I messed up. So I left school, I went to college and did performing arts and thought, like, I'm going to be famous. So then... Just naturally after doing that, I went to Sunderland for university for performing art.
Another shit.
Dropped out in like, got a nice speech. But I dropped out like a month in. Stayed there for a bit and moved home. And my mum's like, oh, what are you doing with your life? So then I applied for down to Cambridge to do youth work, because I'd always done that alongside performing art, you know, like teaching dance, working with kids. Yeah. And again, I did that for a year and dropped out. Mum's devastated again, like uni's just not for me. Like I just couldn't get into it.
It's hard though, isn't it? It is graft.
But I'm glad now when I look back because of what I'm doing now.
Everything happens for a reason, doesn't it?
I would have got a degree in something else.
Yeah, I just say everything happens for a reason, you know. As long as you've learned from them sorts of lessons along the path, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know you've got two lovely boys then. You've got George and Alex.
Yeah.
How old are they?
So George is 8 and Alex is 5.
Oh, wow. And how are they doing? They okay?
Yeah, they're good, you know. They've really thrived in lockdown.
I was going to ask, how was lockdown sort of affected them?
It's been fab. Alex loves staying at home. He's not interested in going to school and that, so he's made up. George loves school, but him and Alex never mix with each other at all, because Alex is like, obviously George is non-verbal, he doesn't speak, and he just wants his own space, so him and Alex never really bond, because we were all forced into the house together. They started like creating this little bond, and it was dead nice. Special. So where everyone else was like, lockdown, I was like, it was lovely.
It's magical then, because they've formed the bond now.
Yeah, and George started, he doesn't say any words, but he'll say my name now as well.
Really?
Yeah, he calls me Helen. But he will be in his room, he's like, Helen. So, but yeah. So lockdown for us was really good, I think.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh no, that's really boss. So then, and in 2020, you graduated, didn't you? With a first class BA Honours in Disability Studies and Education, is that correct? Yeah. What was the reason why you went into that avenue then?
Yeah, finally went back to uni and did it. So obviously I had George. George was diagnosed with autism when he was 3.
Okay.
I wasn't working on anything. I was a stay-at-home mum at that time.
Yeah.
And so when we were going through like the diagnosis process with George, we really, really struggled with getting support. We didn't know, like his school were amazing, they were dead good, but we didn't know who to kind of go to and be like, what do you do about this? Or, you know, he's not sleeping, you know, all of these things. And we didn't have no one. So I started looking it up online and stuff. And that's when I found the course. I actually went to go and do, it was childcare and SEN.
Okay.
And then ended up going to the full disability studies side of it. But like I said, in school I was crap. I dropped out of 2 different unis. Yeah. But this was something that, like, not only was I learning about something, I was learning about something that would benefit my
family life as well.
It took a lot. It sounds dramatic, but doing that course changed everything. Like, I had quite a downward outlook of like how our life was going to be and how George was going to struggle and what disability was and what autism was, as it was like a negative thing, you know, he's not going to be like the other kids and stuff. But going and doing disability studies, it shifted my whole perspective, and it's just made me see like it's just a total different way of being and living and understanding the world, and it doesn't have to be negative. You just live in the moment. Don't stress about where he's going to be at this stage. Just 100%. And I've learnt and grown with him. At 3, if you'd have said, oh, what do you think it's going to be like when he's 8, I'd have panicked and thought I'm going to struggle, I can't cope. But because I've stayed in the moment with it, we learn and grow together, and obviously doing the degree helps and stuff. So we're at a point now where it's changed my perspective. I see disability and I see our situation as a really positive thing now.
Yeah, boss, I love that, because our middle child, I don't know if you met him before, Archie, he's autistic. He's verbal and he's doing really well at the minute. In lockdown, he's came on leaps and bounds, because like he struggled really with like a social aspect, and then his rigidities and his diet and stuff. That's where we sort of struggled with him. And in lockdown, he's come on so much. But Mel, who you met before, she was in uni, she'd done a law degree, and she was working in solicitors, and it just wasn't for her. She was like, I'm just not getting the feedback that I want from it. And when she was younger, she did childcare, but because she was pregnant, she was like, I don't want to look after other people's kids and then come home to my kids. So she changed it to law, and then she was like, no, I wanna do something where I can give back. So she went back to uni, got a PGCE and specialised in special needs.
Oh, fab.
And part of the reason was because of, as you mentioned before, about struggling with the medical industry in terms of getting support and help. We didn't know where help was coming from with Archie. We were just, again, we were researching everything on our own. So it was a massive help that Mel went back to uni and she studied in as well. So it made a massive difference to our life.
It completely changes it. And like you say, it's very medicalised, and you're just getting referred to these different medical organisations, or even the edge. Like George's school was amazing, and the school he's in now is amazing. But when you're seeing like all these medical and educational professionals, the language around it's very deficit based. It's very like, what can't they do? What are they not going to be able to achieve? Whereas it shouldn't be like that.
They always seem to pick up on the negatives, don't they?
It's more about not changing the child and where they're at. It's changing the attitudes of the people who are working with the child and getting them to understand more and things like that. And it has. It's just changed my perspective, and obviously yours as well.
No,
like
it does, and now you're doing your masters. That's where your pot noodle scene came from, was it? So what's your masters in special needs? Is it
disability studies?
Disability studies,
again,
is it?
Yeah.
What's your masters like? Is it all via Zoom or anything face to face at the minute?
It should be face to face, but it's all been Zoom again. But I quite like it that way, to be honest.
In the comfort of your own home.
I can just set up my own kitchen, get like
pot noodles and everything.
Some stuff out, gin. You can have a sneaky gin, can't you? Can't do that in school.
And juggling it though with the 2 kids, like that must be hard work. 'Cause I've seen how much it was hard for her with the 3 kids, because she's done, as I say, she's done a law degree and a PGCE, so she'll be proud of yourself, because juggling that and the business and the kids and everything, you've done an amazing job.
It is hard. What I tend to do, so we'll have our deadlines, and I'll set mine for like 2 to 4 weeks before, so if anything does come up, I know I've given myself
You've got a bit of a safety net.
But I've also the kids' dads as well, so we share 50-50 complete. Like when I started uni, we were together. We've split since then, but he's always been supportive, and even though we've split, like he's just an amazing dad, and we do have 50-50 with the kids, so that helps. I've only set up the business since we split, because I have got that time, you know, when he has got the kids and stuff.
You can invest all
and
your
again,
time
he's been dead supportive of that as well. Like we get on dead well, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have that sort of relationship.
That's given me the space to kind of like, if I've got a deadline or whatever, he'll like have them for the extra hour, and I'll like get some work done and stuff.
It is nice to have that, because like if it was a sort of, you know, a difficult split, and then it was, you know, you were arguing all the time, you wouldn't be able to go and pursue what you wanted to pursue. So
we've always been kids first, even when we were together, when we were separating. But I get so many families who come in who, not a lot of families do stay together. It's a fact, especially when there's like special needs or you know. But I mentioned this
last week so I had Kevin Jill on from An Hour for Noodles, a charity, and we were talking about sort of the kids being affected now, and it's all like, we were talking about drug abuse and alcohol abuse within families, but now it's all emotional abuse, because families split so easy. Like you look back just a couple of generations, it was unheard of, parents splitting up, whereas now it's easy, people just throw it away because it's easy to walk away.
I see that as a good thing as well, though, in some ways, because I feel like there's two ways. You can either stay together
in a poisonous relationship, and then affects the
or
children.
not even poisonous, but you're just unhappy, and you're showing your children this is okay to settle, or this is okay to be treated this way, or you know. Whereas if they split, and I know people go, it's just easy now, you get to do all that, but you're showing them two happy parents living a happy life. And I think if you can keep that respect and that relationship between the two parents, which I know not a lot of people can, our situation's very different.
But again, there's a lot of dads who walk away who just don't care and they're not arsed then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So...
No, I will say, and I knew it from day one, if we ever split, he would be hands-on dad all the way, and he is. Yeah, and we're on the same page with George as well, and how we think he should be raised, because I have parents in who have split, and one's saying, he needs this, he needs this support, and the other one's like, he's fine, he's normal.
Is that difficult to deal with, is it, when they're like that?
It is, but it's just kind of chatting to them and getting the understanding, okay, well, what do you think's not normal about that, or what do you think, and kind of coaxing it out of them in a different way. But also understanding as well, like when they're in your house, it's your rules and that's how you live, and when they're in their house, that's their rules, and you've got to kind of
respect it, haven't you? Yeah, it is hard. And it's tough because you're sitting there trying to be impartial because you don't want to judge their parenting skills in any way, shape or form. You've got to give them advice on what you think's the best way to go. But you don't. And I understand. I'm lucky. Not many people have that split and kind of stay on, those good terms. Exactly.
And so I understand it is hard, and it's hard. It's a sad statistic, but it is. A lot of families who do have children with disability or additional needs or whatever, it's hard for them to stay together more than any other family because you don't have that like alone time together. You don't, there's a lot of stress involved in it. There's a lot of amazing things, but there is a lot of stress.
The family dynamic's completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, so it is harder. So you do see a lot of split.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, but
situation.
Yeah, but it's but what you're doing is an amazing job. Helping them out and all that. So, you've done your degree, and as you said, it's helped you further your knowledge with George. But obviously now you've opened Indigo and stuff. So, where did the idea for Indigo come about then?
It actually started at lockdown, the very first lockdown, way back when. So I was
like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it?
It's over here now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was obviously the mix of being bored at home and stuff, but I also knew, having George at home, and he wasn't struggling, but, I know he wasn't getting the sensory input and the things that he would get as much at school. Yeah. So I put, little packs together, and I just came up with the idea of, doing these little packs and seeing if people were interested in having that extra support. And in my undergrad degree, I did an information pack on autism and families and support and stuff. And it was just it was used as an essay, and it was marked, and it was sat doing nothing. And I felt like it meant something. It should be doing something. So I made these information sensory packs. Got loads of parents on.
Was you just thinking about this on your own, or was you sort of touching different parents, dropping bits of information out, getting feedback from it, or did you just run away with it?
Yeah, just on my own. I basically just had a bit of money there, bought a load of the stuff, got some bags, had them all labelled up with the logo, printed all the information things in, and I think they were £19 or something they ended up being, and I just got a load of parents. But then I got a school get in touch with me, a specialist school who was still open partially. So they did a big order, and that was when I was people need it's helping people in some way. So that's where it all started from. Yeah, and then so my cousin had a balloon shop, and unfortunately for her, lockdown hit them hard, and she had to give it up. So she put it on the internet one day, anyone want to buy this business? And I was just because I'd already started doing bits, and I had savings there, and I was can I? And I was with my cousin Laura at the time, and I was talk me out of this before I go down.
You run away with yourself,
but by the end of the day, I'd done it.
Just by the end of the day?
Yeah.
Wow.
We went up the shop. I was chatting to Mandy, as the one who had the shop.
Yeah.
We were chatting, and then she was right, go to the cafe next door, just get something to eat, have a think. So I went, and I was dropping stuff because I was all nervous because I knew it was something
surely
exciting.
Though, as you said, you started building these little packs and contacting parents and contacting schools. Did you have sort of a business in mind in terms of a shop, or was it just because that dropped on your doorstep, you just went, I'll jump at it?
Yeah, so I've done one round of these bags, and these all sold out, so I thought, right, I'll do that again. And that's when I got in touch with the school, and then I kind of just left it for a bit.
Yeah.
We'd come out of lockdown, gone back in, everyone was busy, but then she was I just seen it on Facebook, and was I could do that.
That's a big risk though, isn't it? Massive, but
threw all my money into it.
Looks like it's paying off though. It really does.
Yeah, it is so far. It's gone really well. I mean, we've only been open about 3 months, and it's really.
So, what goals have you set for the business then?
I don't know. I haven't. Really,
you haven't.
That's the thing. I haven't I'm not very sensible. I haven't got like a business plan, or I've just gone, families need support.
Well, we were talking about
I can do that.
And we were like, what you provide, we were like, strategically, it's an unbelievable place to position yourself. You're facing all day, parents can come over, but it was just an accident, you know, because the shop became available. It's one of those things that
just kind of happened.
Oh, wait, that's bad. That is boss.
So there was no business plan. I mean, ideally, I'd like to, within a year, be making... So basically, the money that comes in now goes straight back out.
On your
I don't make any money off it or anything. As is, but obviously it's a new business, and I'm just trying to
lot of businesses
keep costs down for families and stuff like that.
But
hopefully by the end of the year, I would like it to be able to like make a living wage off it, maybe expand it a bit more, look at maybe a different space.
I think you will. I think you've tapped into, and I keep saying market because it sounds horrible because you're providing a service, you're helping children who need it, but obviously you need to make a living as well. But there's not much out there in that sort of avenue. There's not much out
there, and the stuff that is people ripping people off.
Yeah.
People say, okay,
that's one thing I was shocked with. I was looking at the website and the prices, and I was like, that's really, really priced well. Like, I was baffled by it because Lila is obsessed with fidgets and everything, and the amount of money we spend on it. And I was comparing to your website, and I was like, no.
Well, I started buying wholesale, and because I obviously buy all this stuff online previously for George and Alex. And I started looking wholesale for, you know, like the Chewies, you know, different things. And it was only then that I realised this is like a massive industry that people are taking advantage because... So I sell the Lego Chewies for £4. I obviously make a little bit of profit on that. Yeah. So you can imagine how cheap they are as well. We've bought them for like £12, £14 off other businesses.
Oh, it's scary, isn't it?
Because people see it as an industry. There's parents being told, okay, your son needs that to you know, go forward or whatever. So you look for it and you go, oh my God, it's this much, but he needs it.
But you're being told it's needed, so
you're
forced to buy it, aren't you?
So there's like, you know, the little sketchy business people out there who are like, you know what, we can make a fortune off this.
There's so many companies like that who are in it for the wrong reasons. They just see pound signs, don't they?
And I could put, because my cousin's always like, just put it up a little bit. And I'm like, well, no, this is... What I'm creating is what I needed. Yeah. And I needed to have those things at a price that wasn't ridiculous.
But in your name, community, you're building a community. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, I'm a shop, come and buy your stuff. It is a community. You want to create a family. You want people to return. It's all about retention, isn't it? And building relationships. It's like a little living room. Definitely. It's dead, like, relaxed. Everyone who comes in, like, we laugh because everyone who comes in, they'll come in and go, oh, it smells lovely in here. And then they'll sit and get comfy, and then as they leave, they go, it's not like this, is there? And literally the amount of people who say the exact, because it's a tiny, tiny little place, but it's dead, like, it's dead homely. I've said before, I've stalked your Instagram in and out, so I've seen plenty of pictures, so yeah, it does. It looks like a boss little place, and we'll get down this week, won't we? Yeah. Be really good. But going back to the location then, so it's really close to all the day and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think there's ever a point where the hospital can refer parents and you can build that?
We've already got that.
Really?
Yeah, we've had... So CAMS are situated over there, the mental health. Yeah. We've already had families who've been referred over from them. We've had a few of, like, the different nurses come over and get the Be Kind hoodies for work and stuff like that. Like, I haven't done any big, like, marketing thing or nothing, but the word's just getting out from, like, obviously the service we provide, and people feel heard. So it's getting about. So we've had referrals from CAMS. I've had... specialist teachers who've referred families over to us. We're starting to create links with like the Sure Start services and stuff like that. Oh, wow. So it's very small, but I can see it's going to bubble up into something.
Well, listen, you opened it in March, did you say? You opened it in March, and you're already sort of tapping into them different things. So it's only going to grow huge. So it's exciting where it can go. It's really exciting, it is.
I know, when we did one-to-one sessions, we do like a thing called Sunday sessions, where it's just 20 minutes. We have a specialist and SEN teacher, qualified teacher, who'll do like a one-to-one session with child, and then I'll do a one-to-one session with the parent. And just, we go off whatever it is they want to talk about, and we'll refer to what different things. But a woman came over on like our third Sunday session and was like, oh yeah, Cam sent me over from the hospital. And me and Devlin, who's one of the ones who was running the session, we kind of just looked at each other, like in our heads, we were like, oh, Cams.
We've made it.
People know them. So it was like, oh my God. And I think we'd only been open about 6 weeks at that point.
That's very, very early, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, you know.
Yeah, we were
really
like, that was like a little tingly, oh my God. What a real thing.
That is unbelievable. Now, when you said like the parents come in and that, I imagine it's difficult when you're having a conversation with sort of a medical professional, because as you said before, they're just saying, oh, the child can't do this, won't be able to do this.
Yeah.
You're relatable to them. Do you make it known about your personal life and George?
Yeah.
So that's why they can relate to you then? Do you find that happen quite a lot?
Yeah, I feel like people come in a little bit nervous about what they want to talk about or whatever, but then they'll say, oh, you know, my child does this, I'm a bit worried, and I'm like, oh, well, George does this, this and this, and this is what we do. So I can bring that like personal experience into it, and then you see them kind of like just relax a bit. My favourite thing is, obviously the shop's great and we provide like disability aids and things at, you know, good prices for families, but my favourite is the one-to-one sessions, to see someone come in looking downhearted, looking heavy, and leave light, like looking like a weight's been lifted. Like, it's just, because I have like a team of people who like I've met at uni, so obviously they're all professionals in different areas, which is quite nice.
So
I have different people come into each of the sessions, and like every time someone leaves one of them, we're like, oh, we looked at each other and it's just like...
So what does the session entail then? I know you said you've got different people from different walks of life and different industries, but what does a one-to-one session sort of...
So generally the one-to-one sessions will be some kind of sensory, messy play.
Okay.
It's more so in those instances. So obviously it's great input for the child, but it's more so me and the parents can like have a good chat, and then also I can like glance over and see what's going on, and I can notice little things and be like, well, I've noticed he does this, have you ever thought about trying that? So it's more, so that's like sensory play based, but it's quite educational. It'll be like all your colours, your textures, your different smells and things like that. And it gives me and the parents like a good opportunity to kind of just get into whatever it is.
Is that why the hospital and stuff do that then? They give the children some form of sensory to play with, and then they can monitor them from a distance, because the child's in a much more comfortable position, aren't they?
Yeah, so a lot of the assessments they do, they'll have like the educational psychologist or whoever there, and they'll have the play setting. But it's stuff like you can see, you know, what the child's drawn to. Are they paying attention? Because a lot of things, it's like the children like aren't listening or responding. And having those toys and sensory things, you'll find they are listening and responding, but it's only to things that they are interested in and like zooming into. So to have them like playing and kind of just at ease, you can kind of see all these little things going on that maybe somebody else who didn't know wouldn't. So you do pick up on things. Or like the mum will be there saying, you know, he gets stressed about this, and I'm like, have you noticed he's covering his ears when, you know, that rice is making that noise or whatever, and, you know, picking up little things that they mightn't have.
So the parents are even learning as well then, aren't they?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That is unbelievable. Like, it's, again, there's not enough out there, is there? Like, for the parents who have children who are autistic, and it's been a struggle for parents to understand what they can do and how they can help the child. So is there anything else in Liverpool sort of remotely similar to what you're doing?
I don't know. I know there's like, so over on the Wirral, I know there's a shop run by a couple who I think have got personal experience as well. So they do all like the sensory toys and stuff. I don't know if they do like the sessions or anything, but it is becoming a little bit more.
But have you got to be qualified then to do your one-to-one sessions? Because obviously you're qualified now. You can't just open a shop because...
I mean, I suppose you could, but I don't think it'd be the best.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be nothing stopping people, but so obviously I'm qualified with the disability studies. I've got years of youth work experience, and obviously my children doing the masters, but then everybody who does the one-to-one sessions. So we've got teachers who work in specialist school. We've got workers who work with like adults with learning difficulties. We've got like a real range of people. It's really good because I went to uni, because I'm like, all my mates, I can kind of be like, come on. And they're all like really supportive. So it's not just parents with children,
it's everyone who's coming in then, all different walks of life. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
And I have older, not like people coming in because people think it's just for children. But I always say if there's a need there, it doesn't matter what age, because I think a lot of people, services that are available, think that like at the age of 18, people who have autism or whatever fall off the planet and that's it. You know, like, because I had a woman ring and she was like, oh, my son's 21, can he come in? And I was like, of course he can come in.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If you, or people who are like, he's not diagnosed, I'm like, if you think he needs it, there's a need there, come in.
So what is the full list of services that you provide? Then obviously you sell all the sensory bits and bobs, and then you've got your one-to-one. What else do you provide? So
we do the Sunday sessions, which is the 20-minute one-to-one, which is just very open-ended. Come in and have a chat. We've done one-to-one stay and play sessions, which are like an hour long. We've done them in like the Easter holidays and stuff. So that's more in depth, so we can get more conversations going. We can like delve deeper into things. But then we've started doing DLA support, so disability living allowance. So what kind of financial support you can get.
That's huge, isn't it? Because a lot of people panic and struggle, don't they?
That is horrific. I did the first one, the first days of it last week, and it went really well. So basically, I put a pack together. So you come with your own form and any evidence that you think might be handy. And then I put a pack together of like any additional financial things. So like grants, different support, if you can get carers allowance. There's like disability element to child tax credit that a lot of people don't know about.
No one's aware of it. They're not. They want to keep the money, don't they?
So they come in, basically I get my laptop out, so I get the form with them and I just ask them questions. And a lot of parents, it's a hard one because you're being forced to talk about your child in a negative light. So people either do that and get really upset, or they'll hold back and go, well, he's fine to do that. Or but I can kind of lead those questions and be like, okay, he might be able to walk from the car to the door most days, but on his worst day, can he do that?
It's how you put it across to them, because again, you don't want it to be seen negative to them, as you say, talking about the child in a negative way. But in the long run, it's to support them and help them, isn't it?
It's more, so they are quite difficult sessions, and there is a few tears and things like that, but so they'll come in with this form, which is really tedious, and it's really like daunting. And within the hour, they go away with and I basically type it all up and answer the questions for
them.
With them. And I'll just print it off so they can go away then and just transfer it all into the thing and they're good to go. So within the hour, that form's done.
How did you come about doing that then? Where did that?
Because we've had to do it for George.
Is that why? Because you know how
so we've
much
done it twice now, and it's such
a tedious activity.
I always say when you've got a child with additional needs, you become like a full-time like receptionist.
Just admin
You've got
everywhere.
there's so many folders and different things, and it can become overwhelming. And there's a lot of parents who will struggle with, so they'll put it through, they'll get told no, and they'll think, well, that professional said no, so they mustn't need it. Because I think a lot of people get a no straight away because it all comes down to money.
That's all
at the end of the day.
They're just testing the water, aren't they? If they say no to everyone, what percentage of people's going to go, hang on a minute, I'll come back. So they're saving money, aren't they?
So that's what I like to do with this organisation as well. It's giving the parents that fight to be like, you know your child best at the end of the day. This professional can know this, this and this. They could have went to this uni, done that, but they don't know your child. And you've got to keep that fight. You've got to keep going. You've got to nag. You've got to put the form in again. If you think he needs that or she needs that help, put the form in again. Because so many people think professionals are the be all and end all, and they know about it. And it's not. I mean, there's some amazing professionals, medical, educational, whatever, but not everyone knows best. So,
and if you know that child, it's your child, you live with them 24 hours a day, they're in your care. As you said, you know them better than anyone else. You know exactly what their needs are. And some parents don't have the confidence to keep pushing and pushing. So
or some parents will even be like, do you know what, we don't really need money though. Why is it about money? I'm like, okay, does your child wet the bed? How many times do you have to buy new sheets? Does your child take clothes with labels in? How many times do you have to get new clothes, or they biff through the clothes? Or does your child throw food and your food bill's double because you need to try, will you try this? No, you're cooking all this extra stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, okay.
Opens their eyes to it.
It's not about like grabbing money or anything. It's like, what do you need? What costs extra in your life that wouldn't if this child didn't have a disability? And that's what it is. But some people feel like they've been taught through the media to think the money grabbers or scroungers. You get told benefits and it's like, oh, but
it's there for a reason.
It's there. You need it. Whatever's going to make yours and your child's life easier, more manageable, because you've got to think of the mental health of the parents as well.
It is, and it must have a massive knock-on effect on the parents.
Oh, it does.
Well.
I struggle sometimes. So obviously you've stalked me Instagram. You've probably seen me crying on there. Or posting about poo and George smearing poo all over his walls and things.
Back the other day as well.
Oh, don't. I was at my breaking point that day, and then I went upstairs and I was just like, But I like to post about that stuff because I'll have parents go, do you know what, I thought I was having a bad day.
Again, and it's all about being relatable.
With like the poo all over the bed, and they're like, it's not so bad. I'm like, yeah, well.
Again, it's all about being relatable. That's all it is. Yeah. You're showing that you're a real person. You're a human being. You deal with this on a daily basis. So it's all about sharing in it. Because as you said, people go, fucking hell, I'm not having the worst day ever. And just that little thing might lift their spirits a little bit and make their day a bit easier.
Like, I'll post me good days, like this morning I posted I'd had like a run, I'd done my goals, like on it today. But then there's other days where I have to pull myself out of it, and I'm just like, I've cleaned the floor like 5 times already. The bed's been ripped, the paint's come off the walls where I've been mopping it, and I'm like, I just can't. And I think it's important to post those things as well and be like, you're not alone. Like, I can't go into it because it's other parents and stuff, but other parents have come to me with stories about like the poo and the smearing and stuff, and they're like, I was so glad when I seen your thing and know that like it's not like just them being dirty or because there's the shame and stigma around it as well, but it's just normal.
It is normal. It's just part of life, isn't it? Yeah. So talking about mental health and that, then when you have the one-to-one sessions, do you have any parents sort of break down to you or anything?
Yeah.
Really?
100%. I always have the coffee, the tea, the chocolates, the tissues. Yeah.
Wow. How would you deal with that? Without going into people's stories, obviously.
Yeah. I'm not cold-hearted, but I'm quite like, when it comes to a situation like that, I can remove my emotion from it and keep it really like, okay, that's the situation, what are we going to do? Yeah. And I can keep it together. And sometimes on the outside, that looks like I just don't give a shit. Yeah. But it's not. It's just... in
their best interest, isn't it?
Yeah. And so I have had people come in, and there's been some horrible stories and things like, lack of support in school, or people like gaslighting the parents and like, they're not like this in school, so you must be making it up. It's like, and even just that basic lack of understanding about how children mask in school, they're around authority, they keep it together, they go home, lose the shit, mum gets it, dad gets it, and then they go to school and be like, I need support, and they're like, well, they're fine. Yeah. So I have a lot of parents who deal with that, and I'll come in and just be like so upset around like that lack of support and things. But we're always there, but like a tissue. Just like, a lot of parents, to be honest, they just want to be listened to. Yeah. I'll have an hour-long session with someone, and I won't even speak. It's someone just
a vent, innit?
Venting, because they don't feel like they've been able to be heard by anyone. If you go into like, and again, I'm not slamming the medical profession. They're there, they do a good job. There's a clear need in these situations, but at the same time, it's sometimes just like, get them in, get them out, get this, whereas parents, the child's going through it, but the parents going through it as well. Their whole life changed and shifted to what they thought it would be. That's one of the main things I struggled with, because there's this narrative of like, what's normal, what's a normal family, what's a normal child. So when I got pregnant with George, I was like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Or when he comes home and tells me about his day at school, because we're so taught that there's only one way of being. Family. So when you realise that's not your life, you've got to change everything, and that takes its toll. And it's not to say it's worse or better, but it's different, and just no one's told that it could be like that.
All the stories just, have it written as one sort of dynamic. This is a happily family life, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Like what we said before about Lennon being peg-fed from birth and talking about having a 4th child because we feel like we've been robbed of the baby phase.
Yeah, because you're not told.
You just assume it's going to be this way from day one.
Yeah, and it's not even just assuming, like, just in the media and everything that's fed into us, we're told that's the preferred way of being. If it's any other way, it's not good enough. Yeah. So you have all of that sitting on your head as well. Like, am I doing good enough? Have I done this right? Is this my fault that they're not normal? Yeah. Like, what is normal? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it is. So the main thing I do, like, I do work with kids, and I have the girls who work with me, who work with the kids, but my main focus is the families, and it being that whole family support,
the whole group,
and knowing that the parents are looked after just as much, because the kids are getting this, that and the other.
I think they're the adults in the situation though, aren't they? So they've got to go home and they've got to manage it all, so they need as much support as possible.
And it's hard, and most of us aren't getting any sleep either, and you add that in, and it's just yeah. And
then you're trying to provide a living, doing whatever you can to earn money, put food on the table, so it's tough on the parents massively. It is. We're talking about sort of building relationships with all the hay and stuff. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about going into schools and providing services in schools or anything like that? Or
I wrote that on my little goals list today.
Did you?
I did like a goals list manifest. Like for in a year, I was like, I will drive this car, I will do this or whatever. And it was, I will be delivering training sessions to schools and professionals. Like that's gonna, I think alongside this, I'm going to set up a separate charity.
Okay.
So it'll be Indigo Training.
Okay.
And it'll be looking at working with schools and stuff along like a critical disability studies perspective of what SEN is and how to support children with additional needs.
Yeah.
And moving away from that medicalised thing of being, well, this is autism and children with autism can do this, this and this. And they can't. But looking at it as more holistic. Yeah. No two kids are the same anyway. No two kids on the spectrum are the same.
The spectrum is that vast, isn't it?
But in a lot of teacher training, it'll be like how to teach
just black or white, innit?
Normal children. Here's a one day of SEN specialist training.
It is sad. And like, would you target mainstream schools or I was going to say, because it's them who sort of need it more than anything.
Yeah, it's
the specialist schools have got all the people who were trained and educated in that sort of avenue who were there, and then
that's where you get segregation because you've got everyone here trained in all of these things. You've got everyone here trained in how to deal with one type of person who's going to grow up and feed into the economy. Basically, is what it comes down to. So the easiest option is to be like, okay, there's a kid who needs extra support there. Pop them over in that school, and then you've got segregation. You've got children who don't know what children like this are like.
Yes.
And then so it goes on. That's not normal, that's normal, and the cycle continues. Whereas if there was more training, and again, nothing against teachers. Yeah. Teachers are amazing, but they only get the amount of training that is provided to them.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a more holistic training. Even to just look at the statistics, more and more children these days are having additional needs. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's come about. I don't know if we're just aware of it more now.
I think it is just more of awareness, isn't it?
Definitely. So the way we educate educators needs to change. There needs to be a dramatic shift in how we do that. And it seems, I imagine, too much of a daunting task because it will be a massive shake-up of things. But it could be done slowly and, it needs to be addressed.
And I don't want to sort of slag any sort of older teachers off, but it's generational, isn't it? Like years ago, parents were blamed for kids being autistic and stuff, yeah. And it's just behavioural. And we've had a couple of incidents with the school where we've clashed with the school where we don't think Archie's received the right treatment from the school. And obviously, we're parents, we're going to be emotional about it. And the school are just quite stern. And we're like, yous haven't got the right training or people with the right capabilities to, provide for our child.
Yeah.
There was an incident where we got a phone call from the school, didn't we, when a teaching assistant sort of forced Archie to take his jumper off, and he likes long sleeves. He went for a couple of years wearing it, but he constantly he wouldn't have short sleeves on. He needed his arms being covered, and a teaching assistant forced him to take his jumper off.
Why?
Yeah, so it was a bit emotional, wasn't it? Yeah, pulled it over his head, like manhandled him. And the SEN specialist at the school started like proper grovelling, and we said like, she knows she's in the wrong, and we could nail them for this, but we didn't. So I think that was the turning point. Then from that point, the school has been unbelievable.
What's the difference to us learning that day of having the jumper on?
It was in PE, because you said he was hot, so she forced his jumper off him.
It makes absolutely not a blind bit of difference, does it?
But then, is that TA had any sort of training with specialist children? Don't think she has. So
no.
it's
a lot of my
it's
friends
not her fault,
doing
but at the same time, you should be aware.
Yeah, the teacher training. So a lot of my friends are doing it because obviously some of us went on to masters, some of us went on to work, some of us went on to the PGCE.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like kicking up a fuss basically because there's like 1 or 2 days, special training.
Yeah.
Where it should just be, this is how to teach a range of children. This is how to teach a whole course on it. Not this is how to teach these children and here's a day on how to teach them children.
Well, the thing is, in a classroom of 30 kids, if there's no kids in there who need additional support, not one of them children are the same. They're all different. They're all completely different.
The thing is, right, so you've got a class of 30 kids.
Yeah.
One kid's got additional needs. Whatever you do to make that class accessible for that child is going to make it accessible for all of these children.
Yeah.
Whatever you do to make the class accessible to these few children is going to exclude that one.
Yeah.
So why not just do the thing that makes it accessible to them and everyone learns in a different way? We talk about it in uni, like disability gain. Like, everyone views it as like, oh, there's this child and they're being naughty and they're distracting from, these children. But what can we gain from that child being in our class? How can we teach differently that'll make it fun for everyone else as well?
So
and that's where that shift needs to happen.
You'd either deal with the disruption all day because that child's not getting the input that it requires, and all the other kids are now struggling because there's a lot of disruption in the class, or as you said, tailor the whole learning to that child where it benefits everyone else and there's no disruptions anymore then.
Exactly. It's similar.
I know it's easy said than done, but there's got to be a change. There's not.
It's not. It's easier done.
You think?
If there's training in place that shows you how to teach everyone, doesn't that make you a better teacher rather than just showing you how to do this and, oh my God, I've got to really think out of the box for this kid. Like, it doesn't have to be. Yeah. Like, I work with children. So I used to work in pupil referral units years ago when I used to do youth work. And it is as simple as so that in the school where it's really structured and it's really like authoritarian and it's got to be this way and it's got to be done that way, otherwise it's not right. And then you go over to the pupil referral unit, we're doing the exact same curriculum, but we're doing it in a slightly different way that they can relate to. It's still getting done. Yeah. All the people in that school would benefit from being done that way because it makes it more interesting.
The end game's still the same, innit?
Exactly.
It's just how you get there.
There's too much focus on like, you know, I'm the boss and you should do it this way. In schools, it's so rigid and it's so like, you must stand here. And there's got to be that authority, I understand that, but it doesn't have to be so like, I don't know, there's teachers who are like, there's no respect over it, but the way they treat children, where's the respect there? Like, I'm off on a tangent now.
It's all right. And do you think it's something you can provide training to teachers, or do you think that's much bigger?
I think that I can provide it, but that's only going to be on a tiny scale. Yeah. That's me just in a few schools in Highton or Liverpool, or there needs to be, and it sounds too big to be done, but it's got to be one day, there needs to be a big shift in how teachers are taught. There just needs to be. If you know, go online and look at critical disability studies, there's so many things there about how it can be done and how teaching can be changed. But it all comes down to money. If you train these children in this certain way, they will go on to university in this certain way, they will go on to the job, they will provide money. If you've got a kid who you feel like is going to need 10 times more effort to do that, why would you, when you've got these kids here who are going to provide that money and that into the economy? Easy peasy. So we'll just put them kids in that school and we'll teach them how to cook and look after themselves and we'll let them be. Yeah.
It's sad, isn't it?
I would much rather, I always say this all the time, so Alex, my youngest, is in mainstream, George is in specialist. I would much rather Alex be in specialist.
Really?
Because the specialist provision is so much more well-rounded. You've still got your curriculum, you've got your targets, but you learn about life, you learn about different type of people, you learn how to look after money, how to cook. In school, it's just do this, get a job. Like, you don't learn about life in school, do you? You don't come out knowing how to, like, pay bills or whatever.
No, even in secondary schools, like, I was talking about this the other day, I could fucking dissect a cow's bumhole for you, because that's what we've done in science, but I don't know anything about fucking bills, taxes, mortgages, anything.
Exactly.
They don't set you up, do they?
It's such a weird, twisted way of education. So you'd have these kids who you'll learn to, you know, put into the economy, but won't have a clue how to run a home. And then you'd have these special kids, let's just teach them how to look after themselves so we don't have to look after them. Yeah. Because they're not going to give us... it makes no sense to me. Like, these children could achieve the same as each other if the educational system was more inclusive, more diverse.
And I think mainstream schools do need to wake up a little bit and get a little bit more awareness, because it was... what was it the other week? What was it? Autism Awareness Week, was it? And like your school and other specialist schools all do loads about it. And our older two, Lila and Archie's school, nothing about it at all. No. I was completely unaware of it.
I'd never throughout school met a disabled child or a child with additional needs or whatever, because it's so separate. Yeah, it's a bit more mixed now, but it's not where it needs to be. So there's no level of understanding. That's where you get all your bullying and, you know, all of that, because you're not taught that difference is okay and difference is normal and we can learn from each other. You're taught, well, you're the best way. They're that way. Yeah.
It's horrible, like, because if you looked at it from sort of a race point of view, if people were treated differently, there'd be uproar.
Well, they were and there was. There needs to be uproar about this.
There needs to be uproar about abilities.
And it is coming. There's so many, like, disability activists and different things, but it's still a bit below the radar. But it is coming. But Yeah, that's how it used to be, segregation with race.
Yeah.
We've got segregation now with disability.
Yeah.
And it's very real. And the people go, oh, you know, it doesn't really matter, you can't really change it. Well, you change that.
Why can't you change
This
it?
is just as important. People have an equal right to citizenship, equal right to move about their own community in the same way as everybody else can. But it's not seen as the same. It's not seen weighted the same. But it is. It's discrimination. It's inequality. But
it is.
It's getting there slowly.
Slowly but surely. So going back to Indigo then, so talking about expanding into the school and stuff and all that, have you got any other sorts of plans for different services that you're going to provide, or?
So we've got a summer programme coming in place. So there's a local community centre at the gate. It's called on Princess Drive.
Yeah.
We're working with them, so they've provided us a space where we can run, because obviously my shop's tiny.
Yeah.
We can only do one-to-one, there's no room for anything else. But I want to create that sense of community more, so we're going to use that space in the summer and run like a programme. So it'll still be small group work, so it'll be like 4 families at a time. They'll be the same. So those, say, 4 families will come in every Monday for 4 weeks, so they'll get to know each other, the parents can talk and meet.
They'll build
the
relationships
children can meet other children. And then, so we'll do 4 weeks of that, and then we'll all go on a trip. We've been speaking to Acorn Farm in Kirby.
Yeah.
So that's all disability run. It's a charity, everyone who works there, disabled people.
We've been there. That's the Boss Ice Cream up there as well, don't they?
Yeah, it's so good there. But so yeah, I've been speaking with the manager there, and we're going to the end of August take all the families there. So we'll have a group in the morning, a group in the afternoon. We'll do like a little certificate and a little ceremony to like, because they've completed the
kids will be made up with that, won't they?
Yeah, and then I'm hoping from the links that we built there with the community centre, we'll be able to kind of worm our way in and then start doing like training for parents.
Networking as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just getting your name out there as well.
Yeah, and the woman who runs the gate, her name's Rianne, she's absolutely lovely. Like, I just popped in and we were there for like an hour, just chatting.
Just got on straight away.
Yeah, so I can see that like working in the future.
Love it all, love all that. Right, so I'm going to play my little game, right? So I'll ask you a series of questions, see what you're willing to do for a payout. Right, ready?
It's time for everyone has their price. Find out if you're nasty or nice.
Apologies if you're offended by any of these.
Go on.
You've got cats, right?
Yes, loads at the minute.
How much do you love your cats?
Well, enough, but I'm a bit annoyed at the minute because there's kittens. So go on.
Right then, for 350 grand, yes, you've got to drink a pint of cat vomit in front of your whole family.
350 grand, easy, yeah.
Yeah, not asked.
No.
Like what? It was all in your teeth and everything. Not asked.
Chew the chunks.
oh, my stomach's just turned. All right then, fucking that was easy money. All right then, you're back on your Zoom calls for your masters, right? You've got to get, remember the fucking pot noodle Bombay Bad Boys, the black ones, the dead spicy ones. You got to get one of them, and for 150 grand, you just got to start snorting noodles on the camera. Just like,
no.
I can feel it down the back of your throat and everything. Imagine the burn and everything.
I'm just immediate. Maybe you know when you vomit and it like goes the back of your nose.
Got a carrot in the back of your nose.
No.
So your fucking neck
I'll
vomit.
drink that vomit, but not.
Bombay Bad Boy, no. All right then.
Just don't like spicy.
So you can have 30 grand a month for the rest of your life, right? Every single month for the rest of your life. But every time you make a sale in the shop, you've got to put a pair of used undies over your head. Like fucking champagne stains on and everything, and just stare at the customer.
Yeah, no issues.
Not asked.
No.
30 grand.
I deal with shit every day.
Yeah, but you can't even say not to the customer. Just fucking put it on like Spider-Man, like there's all fucking stains on it and just stare at them.
I can make enough money to expand that
30
for them.
grand a month's a lot of money,
They can look at me
innit?
with undies on there, yeah.
30 grand a month's a lot of money in it. You're
pop 'em
flying.
on,
Sounding good. I like then. I've got one more. 400 grand, a lot of money. Right, I'd fucking do anything for 400 grand, like it's easy money, innit? You've got to make a smoothie, but you've got to use the contents of your Hoover and curdled milk.
Oh, my Hoover sees a lot, to be honest. How much?
400 grand.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Not asked.
What's in
your Hoover? What's going in this drink?
Little bits of cat litter from where the cats have kicked it out. By the way, I'm not like a disgusting cat lady. It's just a cat that hoes it about a bit. Little bits of cat litter, hair. There's no poo in it.
Oh, that's all wiped up.
That's all fine.
You can't hear the shit,
That's
can you?
oh, can you imagine? Maybe dried. I don't know.
Ah,
Yeah, I'd do that. 400 grand,
Sound.
easy.
listen, you're flying then. So well, 350 grand for the cat vomit, yeah. No noodles. 30 grand a month for the rest of your life. Big
It's weird
cash
that I do
injection,
all them other things, but not the pot noodle. I think I've got PTSD from the pot noodle situations. Probably
Scarred
what
for
that is.
life.
Yeah.
Happy days. Thank you very much. So, what does the future hold for you? It can be personal, it can be career-based. What sort of plans have you got moving forward?
I have been accepted to do my doctorate degree.
Oh,
so
wow.
that is next.
That's
I'm
special,
going
and that's big.
Dr. Helen Healey.
No way.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking
So
change
that's-
everything. Everyone's got to address
Oh
you as
yeah, I'll be
doctor
like,
now.
don't look at me in the eye. Look down and call me doctor. No, so that's next. And all the research around that's going to be based on the work that we do at the hub. So
Okay.
it's only going to further what type of work we can do in the community and show how these type of services are needed. They'll be written, published, book on, we do need this. We need this for more families. We need this rolled out across the country further. So yeah.
Doctorate though, that's huge, isn't it?
I know.
That is huge.
Considering
You dropped out of fucking unis and
dropped
everything.
out of uni twice, terrible in my GCSEs, and that's what I was saying to you before. The pressure on kids to do well in the GCSEs, there is other routes. I got a C in RD and I'm potentially going to have a doctor.
You need RD though.
I like it, you know.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm dead interested.
Don't I have this argument every day, but Lila,
Yeah.
Lila comes home because she's in a Catholic school fucking singing all this about Jesus. And
Oh my God, Alex comes home. He's
I'm
like,
pure
from
science.
my head to my heart, my shoulders. I'm like, oh, get away.
I just try and have it off at science facts all the time, don't I?
I'm the same, but I do find it so interesting, like all the different religions or cults.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting.
That's another topic, I suppose, for another day.
What do you want to plug then?
Just come to the shop, innit?
Just come to the shop,
Yeah,
innit?
got a raffle on at the minute to support the summer programme.
Okay.
It's £1 a ticket and you can get £60 worth of wax melts for that self-care downtime. But yeah, anything. So all the T-shirts that we do, all the jumpers that we do, all the profit of that, I don't see that. That all goes into the work that we do. So all the sessions we do, we just ask you donate what you can and we can do that and pay our staff because of the T-shirt sales and things like that. So
Fantastic.
if there's any way you want to support us, it's buying the T-shirts.
Yeah, sound right. Listen, Helen, it was an absolute pleasure having you on.
Cheers.
I think
Dr. Helen.
Dr. Helen, yeah. Dr. Helen. I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing and I'm excited to see where the future can take you.
Same.
Right, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Ta-da. Alright everyone, today's episode is brought to you by Mogwai CBD, leaders in organic CBD. All my listeners can now get 10% off all CBD products at www.mogwai-cbd.com. That's MOGWAI-CBD.com. Alternatively, you can go across to the Instagram page, Mogwai_CBD, and just follow the link there to the website. Now, if you use discount code NOWTHEN10, that's NOWTHEN10, NOWTHEN10, you can get 10% off all products there.